M420 from the first release. Need to get inside. Here's a video about how to get inside, right up to a motor replacement. Just looking at the engine, the first part is to take off the metal stairs. They act as spring clips on the battery boxes. So both sides, remove them to undo the shell, or loosen that you can get into the shell. Once you got those battery boxes off, there are several pins right on the back, in the center, and one right near the cab. A little bit of gentle pulling and pinching to get them released. If you look in it, there are no screw holes, and there's the tabs along the side and back. We're going to go right for the motor change. So there's a number of screws across the top of the PC board, soundboard, that you'll have to take out. Pair of wires, you're just going to have to move out of place if you've never opened it up. Just they get tucked in there pretty tight on the sides, on the top for the motor. Shift it off to the side. There are 3 screws, although the instructions only show 2. This back one is smaller of the 3 screws. Now, I haven't shown it, but you have to remove the screws that are on the underside of the body as well to allow the plastic to move, and that includes take the 2 couplers off as well. All the pieces you break off, make sure you save them, put them off to the side so you can glue them back on. Side screw. Just rotate the weight. This gives you access to the rear drive. If you had to do front drive work, you're going to have to go through similar steps and get that cab taken off all the wires. Now, we're going to change the motor in this video, so stop. Don't cut those wires that you're going to see if you are not changing your motor. This is kind of a pain from this design because those wires go up through that weight, and you can't just move them off to the side and release the weight and work on the drive and the motor any other way. Gently tug off the connector for the back power in the back truck. It's a little stiff, be careful. There's 4 more screws that help support the motor supports. You do need to remove the fuel tank, as it restricts the movement of the plastic underfloor, which will not allow you to get at those motor mounts correctly if you don't take off this fuel tank. So in this case, the motor's off already, but there's the holes and the interference to the bottom frame if you don't remove that weight, the fuel tank, which is a weight. Get inside where I'm pointing to release the lugs on the motor mounts. To working on the motor itself, you're going to need to remove the rear drive line so that you have flexibility to move that motor. At this point, that motor is still held down uh, by some supports that have some tabs that you're going to have to push. I'm just using some blunt nose tweezers to help push those tabs and release the motor. It takes a little bit of work. You have to push on both sides. And I do need the screws that are on the plastic frame removed by this point. Didn't put it in the video. Need to do other extended work on your locomotive, you might want to unplug that soundboard completely and move it off. Remember which plug goes where though, because they look all the same to me. We've got everything put back together, and I'm ready to solder the wires on back to for the motor. Fortunate that you have to solder those wires back on to the board versus plug and play for the motor as well as the pickup leads. But that's the way it's designed. I went to solder it on, made an error, and I damaged that PC board. Soldering tip in the wrong spot and broke, and the PC board copper lifted. I was able to solder back on. A little bit of ACC, a little bit of tape after soldering just to help support, and there it is running still happily. Okay, a little while later, we've cleaned it all up, reverse order, got everything put back together, got those railings put back on, cab all closed down, steps put back on, couplers back on. There it is running.